Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're going to dig into the stories of two absolute powerhouses from Indonesia, GoJek and Tokopedia, to really figure out their blueprint for success. So, what's the secret sauce? How did they turn a big idea into, well, that? Let's find out.
So, what's the real secret here? Is it just about having a ton of money from the get-go, or a perfect, flawless business plan from day one, or is there something deeper going on? You know, the answers we usually hear, they often miss the most important parts of the story.
And this right here is the idea we're going to unpack. It totally goes against that old myth that you need a mountain of cash to get started. These stories are living proof that that's just not true. So, if it's not the cash, then what in the world is it?
It boils down to these three things. First, vision, seeing something nobody else does. Then, execution. You got to actually build the thing. And finally, adaptability, the ability to change course when things get messy. This is the blueprint, so let's jump right into vision.
All right, first up, vision. You know, the truly great companies, they almost always start the same way. They find a real-world problem, something that frustrates people every day, and instead of just complaining about it, they see an opportunity.
And this is a perfect example of what I'm talking about. So you've got Nadiem Makarim looking at the absolute chaos of Indonesian traffic and thinking, wow, that is just inefficient. And then you have Tanuwijaya looking at millions of tiny little shops and seeing how isolated they are. Totally different problems, right? But both founders saw a spark, a chance to build something incredible.
See, for Nadiem, this wasn't just about making the slightly better taxi service. No way. The vision was way bigger. It was about using tech to take that complete chaos and turn it into this smooth, digital platform for all kinds of services. I mean, that's a giant leap in thinking.
And William's vision? Just as massive. He used this phrase, democratize commerce. Sounds fancy, right? But what does it actually mean? Well, it's about leveling the playing field. It means that a small shop owner in some remote village can have the same shot at reaching customers as a huge retailer in Jakarta. That's powerful stuff.
Okay, so having a killer vision is step one, but that's just the start of the race, right? The really hard part is actually making it happen. So let's move on and talk about execution, and that one skill that can make or break a company, adaptability.
Okay, look at this. This is what's so brilliant about GoJek's story. They didn't try to do everything at once. They started with one thing, transportation, and they nailed it. Once they had that foundation, then they started building on top of it. They added food delivery. Then they jumped into digital payments. Before you knew it, they'd built this super app that's basically essential for everyday life. That, my friends, is adaptability in real time. Tokopedia's story, on the other hand, is just a masterclass in pure grit. I mean, they didn't have a lot of money when they started, so how did they pull it off? Sheer persistence. They were relentless. They built smart partnerships, and they never, ever forgot who they were building for, the small merchants. That customer focus was everything.
So this table really lays it all out, nice and clear. You've got two huge problems, and two totally different ways of solving them. GoJek was all about constant change, always adding the next big thing. That's continuous innovation. Tokopedia was about playing the long game, persistence, and building a community through partnerships. Both worked. It just goes to show you there's no single magic formula for success.
All right, so we've looked at these two absolute giants. What's the big takeaway here? If you're thinking about starting something yourself, what are the core lessons you should be writing down? Let's break it down. Here it is. This is what I'm calling the entrepreneur's toolkit. You need the vision to spot the opportunity. You need the execution to actually build it. You need the adaptability of GoJek to constantly evolve. And you need the resilience of Tokopedia to just keep pushing through the tough times. These four things, these are the real secret ingredients.
And look, the crucial point here isn't just about building a couple of successful companies. It's way bigger than that. What these stories really show us is how creativity and just plain old perseverance can literally reshape an entire industry. We're talking about changing the whole economy, changing how millions of people go about their daily lives. The impact is just massive.
And that brings us to our final thought. And honestly, this might be the most important part of this whole explainer. Now that you've seen how these massive companies started from just solving an everyday frustration, I want to leave you with a question. What problem is right there in front of you, just waiting for someone to solve it? What's that thing that drives you crazy every day? Because maybe, just maybe, it's waiting for you.